episode 2. This is Donville.
Yo, I'm CN.
Yes.
Trev over here.
Yo, we have a lot of things we want to talk about, guys. I know last week I brought up the little young lady, Brianna Williams. She gets some competition this weekend, which is excellent, you know. And I also want to talk about Calabar. It's a high school in Jamaica that actually won the boys champs. They actually have a new high school record, which is I think it's about something 03. Don't quote me on it, but they actually did it, and they're considered number one worldwide. So give a shout out to Calabar, and I want to give a next shout out to Brianna Williams. She keeps proving herself more and more and more and more. I definitely want to talk about some stuff that we continued from last week. I want to really bring up the Kanye. Kanye's on some celebrity tip right now, which I really want, just because. Matter of fact, if I had a choice that to stay home and go to work and still get paid, I think I'd have different options, but that's just a piece of it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But guys, we want to get into it. If there's anything we want to bring up from now, let's start it off fresh.
I think you mentioned Calabar.
Yeah.
Where is that high school at again?
It's located in St. Andrew, Jamaica. It's by a place it's off a road called Reddy's Road. It's an all-boys school, even though when they do boys and girls champs, it consists of both boys and girls. But on an all-boys standpoint, they're fresh. I mean, them have a pick six right now with their win 6 years in a row. Yeah. They have a little young station right now called Christopher Taylor. Christopher Taylor is immaculate. I'm going to use the word immaculate. Every event that he's running inside of Jamaica, he's actually held a world record.
Wow.
Which is crazy. In the Junior Olympics, which was about 2 years ago, I want to make sure I'm correct with that, he actually represented Jamaica, and he actually ran and won a gold medal, making him Jamaica's, not going to say his one of the first, but for his event in a 400 meter, this is the first time Jamaica really have a tough 400 meter runner that would look like he's going to, we could break barriers. Van Dyke did break the world record from Michael Johnson, which is no one thought would have been able to do it. And I think this little boy under the right guidance, and I'm going to say the right guidance. Sometimes when a coach have too many staffs or too many people while I'm coaching some of these athletes, it kind of hurt them. And when you watch the athletes who has that one-on-one point of view, I'm gonna use Brianna Williams again. She doesn't actually train with her high school. She has an individual coach. Same with the girl Tamari who considered second fastest. She has an individual coach, and it shows that when you set your mind to one thing and focus on it, you can get it done. I think we've all had instances in our life when we put our mind to some things. I remember when Chura was doing school thing, him just was focusing on him school, and him shut up. I can't say not everybody doing, but he did what he needed to do. So we rise above the occasion and celebrate him accomplishments.
You know what happened there?
Yeah. But Trevor, that's what Trevor. Trevor. Look, with every loss, there's something better. You feel what I'm saying?
Everything happens for a reason.
Hey,
turns all losses into wins.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's a moment of thing. But I really want to start off back from last week. We want to get back into the Kanye West discussion. Kanye. Last week I had one impression, and this week he kind of threw me for a loop. Yeah.
You gotta explain.
Like phases. It was weird. There's a couple things happened this week.
Yeah.
So all right. So what was the first thing that happened? Like the Charlamagne interview thing.
Yeah.
So I only watched 10 minutes of it, so don't ask me.
Well, I like the interview. You know what? I would say Charlamagne asked some good questions. I thought he would have asked tougher questions, but it wasn't needed. You can tell him and Kanye actually had, they kind of had to sit down before the interview, which is good. Give him the opportunity to talk about what he wants to talk about. What I took away from Kanye is that last week everybody thought Kanye was a hell-bent Trump supporter, and he kind of opened up my eye to something else. I'm like, Kanye doesn't know about politics. Well, sorry for me cursing, guys, but nothing about politics, which is good because sometimes knowledge is power, but knowledge can hurt you at the same time. But he said what he said about the president. I do agree on. The president kind of showed that you can be the first. You feel me? You can be be the underdog sometimes. And as much as we're doing our podcast, so we're in episode 2. Shout out OnePot podcast. That you're coming from somewhere. There's a lot of people out there doing them thing, and it shows that we're going to break through barriers, and that's what barriers is here for. It's here so we can just take it and break it down. So I can say I agree with him with the president on that point more than anything else. The man became a president without any political
experience.
And the thing is, like, a lot of people say the same thing about Obama too. Like, he's the first black president, and he inspired a lot of other black people. Like, man, he did it. We could do it too.
Yeah, and that's right.
Whether you agree with his policies or not, like, he did do it. And the same thing with Donald Trump. I mean, you're right. Like, nobody really thought he was going to be president. He did it, you know?
Shoot.
Yeah.
Well, I got one more debate I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Everyone the comparison between Michael Jordan and LeBron James been going on pretty much crazy for the last couple weeks, and we're gonna utilize the fact that the Raptors and the Cavaliers are playing and them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They're kind of 2-0 right now, and LeBron them is doing their thing. So now the comparison is coming up more and more and more and more. Yeah. But I want to get everybody's take on it. I think LeBron James. I think me and Trevor talk about this away from the podcast. That I think that Michael Jordan and LeBron James play two different positions.
Yeah, but before we get that, we gotta really dive into that Kanye.
All right, go on.
Kanye
right.
For real.
All right, go on.
Because after, I only saw 10 minutes of that because I was like, I have other stuff in my life to do. But the TMZ was different.
Oh,
so one was taking place like in
the office.
No, it was like 2 weeks ago. About 3 weeks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Then TMZ happened last week.
Yeah.
And I saw the whole thing, not just a little bit.
You saw the whole TMZ interview?
Yeah.
Well, I can't say I didn't see the whole interview. I saw clips and pieces.
You probably saw the van.
The worst parts.
Yeah.
The part that everybody considers
is a choice.
Yeah. And like my thing, okay. So let's go back and just dissect this. So as far as the Charlamagne interview, we got more clarity on as far as what his views of Trump were.
Yes.
And did you get anything else from that? Like, what do you think about the
Well, I mean, I can say Kanye said he's mentally he's unstable right now.
Exactly.
And it need help.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm cut from a different cloth with Kanye need help. Kanye got money to get to seek the type of help. Him can do therapy and can lock himself in a room.
I mean, there's money, but there's also confidence to go to ask someone, help me.
Yeah. Well, I think he did that in the interview for the fact that you talk about something like that where it's going to hear publicly.
Yeah.
That is a cry for help. I want you to understand, guys. And I'm going to use Dennis. If you want help right now, what TV show you think you're going to go on to so you can tell the whole world you need help?
I don't even think he needs help.
What TV show? Dr. Phil?
Yeah, that's saying. But sure, what pull does Dennis would have to say if you can go on Dr. Phil?
Oh.
Yeah, Charlamagne. I mean, Kanye West can do a little bit of rant, / Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and then he'll get put on a platform where he can talk about his views and how he feels and what's going on with him. Like with most common people, if they really need help, if they can't get the money or seek the proper help, they're stuck.
I don't think he needs help at all. See, here it's one of those situations where you have somebody that digs himself into a hole too far, and then they have to double back. Now you have everybody looking at you, so you're going to be like, oh, I'm saying these things because I'm on medicine and I'm on this and I'm on that. If everything was going your way, you would have never mentioned that.
That's right.
Now you got people looking at you crazy. You're going to go ahead and say that you need help, so people go ahead and take a second look at what you're saying. It's an excuse.
No, but here's the thing, though, Dan. He said he was on 7 pills a day in the Charlamagne interview. When he was chill, nobody was saying anything crazy. Like, this was 3 weeks ago, mind you. Yeah. He was like, I'm taking 7 pills a day. That's a lot of pills.
At the same time, he's still preaching that he has free thought and that he doesn't want anybody controlling him.
What is free thought?
He's proclamating that he's speaking for
Kanye doesn't know
himself.
either.
Yeah,
so.
All the time. He always constantly says, nobody's going to speak for me. I'm going to speak for myself. So you can't use that, the drug as a crutch to say that, oh, well, this is the reason I'm saying what I'm saying, but at the same time, I'm speaking for myself. Which one of it is it? Well, is it only like that when it's bad, and then when it's everything's going your way, then you're speaking for yourself, or is it everything all together?
Yes, let's put this in perspective. Have you ever had anybody that had actual mental issues?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how that type of thing goes, right?
Exactly.
It's one day you're hot, next day you're cold. Those meds keep you down, and if you're off your meds, a lot of crazy things could happen. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And things get very scary. I've been through it myself with close friends. So when you're talking about someone's taking, like I said, 7 pills a day, you got to look back and say, what kind of mind state are they in? You know? And to me, the Charlamagne interview was very enlightening. It was very, very eye-opening. But the TMZ was scary. And like it was... TMZ should have been more responsible to be like, you know what? we're not doing this. Like, it
No,
comes down to that.
no, you can't say
See,
that
that's their revenue.
because that's what I'm saying.
But it's ethically they should have made a clear choice.
No,
Yeah,
no, because
they
they want
made
him
the
life.
money
They want him
choice.
life. Yeah,
They're
they
not.
want
They're
him
not
life.
obligated to that. They're not obligated to protect him from what he's saying.
Matter
So
of
they
fact,
brought
if
him
he
on
would have
there
got
for
up
a
and
reason.
throw some cheers, that would have been even more exciting.
Say if it was us and like say Dennis spazzed out and we were recording,
Yeah.
we will not show it because
Yeah.
we have moral connection with him.
Yeah.
They got no moral connection with
Yeah,
Kanye.
that's
Kanye is a
what I mean.
celebrity.
It's Kanye West.
And
Yeah.
that's the
That's
thing.
it.
We got to put some responsibility on TMZ. Like, yo, that was messed up. Like, come on, y'all knew what y'all was doing there.
But
Like,
we
y'all-
also
some
know
guy
They
doing-
know. I mean, all right, Dominic, I want you to understand. TMC is the type of company that hires reporter to follow you around and harass you so you can do something stupid,
Yeah.
so they can get paid off of it. So they don't have morally, they don't really care about Kanye. Kanye came and matter of fact, Kanye came and did what they were hoping Kanye would have done.
Yeah, because they
They got
showed
clicks.
They got clicks on it.
at
That's
first
it.
they showed the clip of what he said about the slavery thing, and they
Yeah.
showed what he said before and what he said after,
whole
because
thing.
everybody was like, "Oh, so what happened before and afterwards?" Neither one of those made it any better.
Yeah.
It just showed that he meant what he said. Granted, I can say his choice of you can see the look on his face. He knew his choice of words were bad.
Well,
But-
when you say he meant what he said, what did he say?
Like as far as I think what he was trying to say is the whole as far as the 400 years of slavery being a choice, that's a very wrong choice of words. But I think what he was trying to say is you shouldn't subjugate yourself to anything because you feel that you have to do what you want to. Like that, I would have been cool if you said it like that. But the 400 years thing is
He kind of backtracked a little because he said slavery, and he's like, no, I'm not gonna use slavery. Let's say prison. And he's
See-
like 400 years in prison. Like in prison in the mind. and all
He
that
should
stuff.
have kept backtracking.
you should have never said it. He said it in full confidence.
Yeah.
Realize what he said, and then try to take it
No,
back.
that's the thing. He didn't realize.
Yeah.
People's
He just-
reaction showed him.
he just
Oh,
talked.
whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the same time, he was preaching free thought.
That's the
So
personality.
if you're
man.
sitting there and
What is free thought? I don't
exactly.
understand.
that what do you say?
Well, I mean,
like as far as
when he
not being
says
controlled.
free, as Dennis said, free thought is not being controlled. I mean that it's not systematic. You can think without a restriction.
Mhm.
You know, it's like a drug dealer. It's like when a drug dealer think about selling drugs, he know that there's going to be some consequences behind it. It's the thing behind the consequences. It's like
So to not think of any consequences.
yeah, just go ahead and do
That's
what.
crazy.
I mean, that's all geniuses was considered crazy. You feel me? It's not until it was like, oh, matter of fact, what that person thought about was actually correct. I'm like, oh man, he was mad. It's just like we can use religion in an aspect. I want you to understand, Christianity is the most dominant. Well, not as bad as it sounds. In the United States, it's the most dominant religion.
Mhm.
Outside of the United States, it's Muslim, right?
Mhm.
But when you think about it, both Muslim and Christianity was considered cult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everything starts. Majority of the stuff that we have in this world starts out negative. Like look at science. I want you to understand. The church really didn't accept science till in what the 19th century, when science been coming around. Doctors been doing their thing. They just accepted majority of this medicine. You know, so everything comes off. Sometimes you have to go crazy. Look, I mean, Nikola Tesla. I mean, we talk about Tesla, and when you look at where he came from, like the man was basically living outside,
Mhm.
trying to find his, trying to show his alternate energy. Then everything we do have alternate energy now, so you have to be mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, that's their story. We've seen Kanye's story. He's spoken about it through his albums. We've heard what he's been saying over the years. What relevance is what he's saying now have to do with any of that?
Yeah, Kanye just got too much money, Dennis.
I mean, like I said, we gotta also think about the circumstances as far as the mental health thing. Is that real? Is it not? I don't know, but I take mental health seriously. We definitely gotta take it more seriously. And another thing is like everyone's like just bashing this dude about this stuff. It's like I don't know. Like to me, it all seems like noise. It just seems like a lot of noise at the end of the day.
I think it's attention. I mean, but at the same time, like he's not in a position where he can't get help. Like you've seen people, like I've seen people that are in a position that couldn't get help.
Yeah.
I've known people that have killed themselves. You're a wealthy person. You're a powerful person. It's not like you can't just walk into somewhere and somebody won't help you, or any of your, rich ambassador friends or anything like that won't be able to find somebody for you. Like you have the means to get what you want. If that's the problem, why aren't you fixing it?
I mean, rich people got problems every day.
Yeah, Biggie said it in the 90s. More money, more problems.
Like, just because you're rich doesn't mean that.
Yeah, but if he thought the way.
See, but if you're walking into a rehabilitation center or something because you feel like you need help, check yourself in. Like we hear people do that all the time.
And Kanye could be a little
more people that don't check themselves in.
Who did it?
Chris Brown?
Yeah.
He did it before. Like,
a lot of
you're
people,
right.
A lot of Chris
is a bad example.
It's still a mental person.
He still does some stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And at the same time, some people do things for show rather than to actually do it to help themselves. Yeah, and that's the reason why I'm saying, like, as far as the whole mental health thing, like for me personally, I'm not buying it because I know he's an intelligent person. Granted, he might be struggling with his own demons, but to me, I don't think it looks like he's that far off.
I'm gonna say, Kanye
he just made some mistakes and he's trying to recover.
Kanye fell after he lost his mom.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say like music wise, Kanye has always been stable, but emotion wise, Kanye fell after his mom. Before his mom, he was talking about Jesus walks.
Yeah.
You feel me? Now after his mom is passed, he be talking about he's not even walking with Jesus nowhere.
Well, he says he's a Christian, but he kind of like, I mean, that's the thing. Like Christianity has a very wide spectrum in America.
Yeah.
So I mean, he says he's Christian.
It's like they're a bit different. I mean, you're gonna do your thing, but I'm gonna say this. Based on what Kanye is going through, we're talking about mental issue. Yeah. Kanye should not, his PR person, everybody on his team should not have Kanye be doing no interviews.
Well, remember, he fired his manager. That's another thing to bring up. He fired his manager and his lawyer like a week ago because he wanted them to be dedicated just to him. And they were like, no. So then he's like, all right, you're fired. Yeah. He wants a dedicated manager that manages him alone. Focuses on him. So hopefully he finds that.
He's not going to find that. Not saying that there's nobody dedicated. Kanye wants to be the only person with a plate. And I mean, to be real, it's just like me going to work. It's like I work. I mean, not to disclose my company, but that's not where the buck stops for me. You feel me? So if you
shout out to them because they pay my bills.
They're paying the bills. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's why I don't want to. Y'all don't want to be able to call their name, but I want to be able to go beyond that. Like if he's looking at Donville, you go to work every day. I mean, granted, if let's think about the people who don't got sick leaves or who don't got sick time. If they stop working, they're going to still get paid. Waitresses and waiters, they ain't going to get paid. So if Kanye decides Kanye's in a mental institution and he ain't making no music and this money ain't going to get made, how am I going to only manage you and survive?
Yeah, money's not going to do.
Yeah, so you would have to be. I mean, and it's possible because if you can't set up enough revenue to have some money come in, but you want to eat off your own plate. You want to be your own person.
Yeah, the money. You're right. The money's still going to come in. It's going to be a little lower.
It's going to be lower.
I mean, it's all how you set up business. I mean, if you look at the 360 deals they got going on for these artists, music, and it's like,
some of them
need tour, they got merch. Man, they got so much money come in that the labels just eat,
Yeah, but the thing is, Kanye has good music, right?
Yeah.
How many artists he manages through good music?
Does he manage? No matter how Pusha
is the president now. So he doesn't really, I don't know how that works.
I don't even think he's really in charge anymore.
In charge of good music. But you see what I'm saying? But when
he exclusive produces a lot.
Yeah.
Like the new Tiana Taylor, the supposedly Kid Cudi, supposedly what was it, Nas one?
Yeah.
So look, no, if I was Kid Cudi or Tiana telling me that Kanye, you need to only be dedicated to my cause, how does that work? See, I want you to know. I set that one up a little. I set that up a little while ago because that was a whole play on it.
Yeah.
Right.
He's like, you want to be dedicated to me, but you're thinking about your revenue. You got a couple artists that you're trying to get your thing with. You need to think about me the same as a manager.
Yeah.
You opening the door to me and me making you successful as a manager. The whole point of that is just that so other artists would like to come to me as well and be like, hey, look, I see you did a good job with Kanye. Come do the same thing you did with him to do it with me.
Yeah.
So you can't keep shutting off my plate. But as Kanye said, make America great again.
Well, now we're not gonna rock with MAGA people then. My thing is like, I hope his wife holds him down. This is the point. World's against you. Wifey should be holding things down. So I hope she's doing what she needs to be doing for that man.
I mean, she do everything.
I don't know if we're done with Kanye part, but I'm just thinking when you talk about wife, I just thought about Kevin Hart, and we just found out who was the one extorting him.
Oh yeah, his man. Yeah. I forgot his name.
I saw him in movies. I was like, I've seen that guy. You mean it's been him the whole time? Like, yeah. The whole video where Kevin was smashing.
We smashing. Smashing. Got caught with a girl.
Yeah.
He called him one of his
friends for 15 years.
One of his boys sold him out?
Yeah, not one of the cut boys.
I thought it was.
I was about to say.
Worse,
the homie's a professional bowler. Yeah, that only makes $3,000 a year, dog. Kevin could hook his man up. Kevin could hook his man up.
Yeah, in that week he made up to $3,000 so far.
No, but like honestly, I could not see myself going through one of y'all's laptops and computers trying to find footage to blackmail y'all. That's crazy, yo.
No, I think he recorded himself.
He actually recorded it.
I'm not sure. You can't quote me. Don't quote me on that.
Got a ransom.
It gets worse. Who's trying to set up a camera in your homeboy's room to record him?
Look, I want you to understand. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna keep it real.
Oh man.
Granted, Kev made money, but Kev should keep himself away from the Forbes list. Ever since Kev name came into that Forbes list, it's like before he was making bang. Yeah. But when they put him in the Forbes and kind of put a dent in how much money he's making, then you start thinking, damn, Kev, like we're standing next to each other and you eat like that. You can't.
But see, I don't know if that's based off public record. Like
it is public record, Trev. That's the Forbes list.
Yeah, so I guess it has to be shown what he has. I don't know anyone that's actually rich that's not on that list.
I mean,
except for
I mean, the people who's not on the list is not because they're not public figures.
Right.
I mean, it's different. Kevin's a public figure, so granted, somebody would have to know like Trev. If you're not on TV every day, like they see Trev in the magazine, they're like, oh, Trev, he's a millionaire, we don't care. But when you see Kevin Hart, when you're watching movies, like yo, Kevin's in the Forbes list. Mm-hmm. You talking about Kev that I watched in Jumanji? Like little short dude, he a millionaire like that? Like so you can identify him in so many different ways in different platforms. Because I can say, for example, for a young Jamaican child who would never watch like stand up, we can be like, oh wait, snap! I've seen Kevin Hart, hanging out with Usain Bolt. That's what a short dude hang out with Usain Bolt. And it goes depends on what part of the world you came from. Because it's like when he was hanging out with Ed Sheridan. And a lot of the Europeans who've never seen him act was associating him with Ed Sheridan. So it comes with your popularity, and he has that.
Yeah. I was thinking about something I totally forgot.
About cheating.
Right. It's about Kevin Hart. Like, okay, so
I like J. Cole's song, Kevin's Hart, by the way.
Yes,
it's
shout
nice.
out to J. Cole.
Now, you got friends around you. And you're not breaking them off. This dude's making $3,000 a year at bowling, right?
Yeah.
He should have a job, doing something. An assistant to an assistant.
Yeah, I hear you.
If you're not feeding him, you need to distance yourself from him.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna look at you, and be like, "Hey, I'm making $3,000 a year bowling, and you living this crazy lifestyle. I'm hungry."
See, closed mouths don't get fed.
So
yeah.
Y'all repeat that for me one more time.
Yeah, closed mouth don't get fed.
Yeah, and a lot of times, like, people really do miss the head on that, too. But at the same time, like, homeboy, you said he's making $3,000 bowling?
That was just that revenue, but he is actor, comedian. Was he a comedian?
He's actor, comedian,
He is getting hooked up by Kevin Hart to act. So
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's affiliated. But I'm going to tell you, this is sometimes when you're coming up, people see your success. Right, and want that, and want it for themselves. They don't. What he should have done, and I'm not saying I can't say I know him personally, so I'm just making a judgment call on this. Is talk to Kev, but like, yo, Kev, you're on somebody's platform. If you're a comedian, how can I open up for you? Because when you watch, because I'm gonna go back to the Cat Williams days. Even though when you watch Cat Williams special, it was only Cat Williams we saw, But what they're not telling you is that they had like 5 or 6 different acts that came before him.
Oh yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So if you're a comedian and you're good, you know, then you ask Kev, put me on so I can get paid. So you're getting paid for your work. If you're really Kev's homie, then be like, yo, Kev, I'm gonna keep it real. Like, since you're doing your acting, how can I help you out in some management? You know, then Kev can be like, you know what? Whenever the artists come in, I need you to go check their bags, and I'm just keeping it real.
Small, but and we've seen how Kevin gives.
You feel what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm gonna shout Kanye West right now on some, because Pusha T and a couple of artists said this. They said that if you work with good music, if you work in their studio, if he passes the doorman and he says what up, and Kanye goes on the track and say yo, what up, and he got it from the doorman, he cutting the doorman off.
Wow.
You feel what I'm saying? So he's breaking everybody else off. So
said that. Huh? I remember one of the artists said that.
Yeah, I think I heard it. Don't quote me, guys, but I think it was one of Pusha T's interviews I was listening to, and he was saying it. He was like, "Yo, that's how Kanye is. It's like when everybody keeps saying how Kanye pays us."
Saha the Prince.
Yeah, I think he's the one that did bring that up.
Yeah,
and that's what he said. I'm like, yo, and that's real, because I mean,
dope album. Sorry, that was my preference. That album was sick.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
You feel me? But everybody got their chance to eat. I mean, we all want it. If you ain't doing nothing in life that requires you eating at the end of the road, I mean, we're gonna use, what is the guy named from Game of Thrones, the short guy?
Peter Dinklage,
right? Peter's story. Peter has a tough story when he basically left his family, became homeless, right?
Wow.
And then found Game of Thrones. Like, he was on Homie said in his interview, like, when he auditioned for Game of Thrones, if Game of Thrones didn't give him a breakthrough,
pizza,
that would have been at the end of the road. You feel me?
Yeah.
But that was it. And look what Game of Thrones is. Matter of fact, we're gonna bring up Infinity Wars in a little bit, because we didn't get to talk about that last week.
Yeah.
Right? But to see him in the Infinity Wars.
Pizza.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Hey guys, pizza is here. Shout out to the pizza man. You know,
Pizza man.
who's doing his thing. Pizza man.
Feed us.
What?
So
Hey.
to check, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real, guys. A hungry man is a hungry man, dog. And I'm trying to stay happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right, Mr. Pizza Man. Shout out to you for dropping this pizza game off.
I almost forgot to
Yo,
say
Pizza
that.
Man, what's the name of the company you work for again? Yo, shout out to Bizarro's Pizza.
Oh yeah.
You know, for getting it done.
Fucking it up.
Yeah, I can smell straight through the box.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right.
But you know,
Like, what are y'all doing?
hey guys, that's how live it is when the Pizza Man can deliver it right in the middle of our session. And we just keep going, keeping it real. That's why we're gonna shout out Bizarro's one more time.
All right. Enough of the Kanye stuff.
All right, bring up something.
Oh, yeah, give it all right.
Infinity War.
Now,
Wait,
hold on. I got
What are
one
you
more
talking
thing before we dive into that. 'Cause
Okay.
as soon as we dive into that, I'm not gonna stop.
about?
That's my thing.
All right.
All right. So, y'all heard of Darren Martin yet?
Yeah, man.
No.
All right. Darren Martin is a White House correspondent that moved into a specific area of New York. I'm not too familiar with New York. Upper West Side Manhattan. So,
Sounds right to you.
I mean, he worked in the White House, so he got a little bit of bread.
Might not
So
be
my
fun.
dude, young black male sitting there doing it for himself. He was a part of the Obama campaign. Moved into this apartment complex, like you said, ritzy. Sitting there moving his stuff in.
Yeah.
6 cops pulls up on him at his apartment
Why?
with allegations saying that he broke in and he's robbing the place. My dude turned on Facebook Live instantly.
Smart man.
Oh yeah, I would have did that too. He turned on Facebook Live instantly. He's like, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 of y'all here, right? 6? Just 6?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, so I'm moving into my apartment and these guys show up saying that I'm robbing my own apartment.
Yeah.
Like, when does it stop? Like, when does it stop? Like, if it's one of those like upper ritzy apartments and stuff like that, like, I'm pretty sure
that's what it was.
you need something
It's
to
Manhattan.
get inside.
Yeah.
You're not just gonna walk in there and start moving out furniture and nobody's not gonna know nothing. So you mean to tell me that he's sitting here on his P's and Q's
Lawsuit.
doing his thing, right?
Yeah.
And he can't file a lawsuit on anybody because he don't know who called the cops.
No, he can file a lawsuit on the police because it's harassment.
Apartment. Yeah.
because when they came there, they should have asked him for his ID, which by law the police is supposed to ask you for, and then he should have the right to provide a lease or a bill. I mean, down to you.
He did his thing. They didn't mess with him because he legally showed that he lives there.
Yeah, okay,
but
so
regardless of the fact, somebody called the cops on him that lives in the building. And from what it sounds like, he's the first black person to move in there. So, so you got me on the Starbucks situation. Then this happens right afterwards. And like, I'm sitting here, I'm scrolling through my Facebook feed the next day, and tell me how there's a deaf girl that works at Publix. Lady walks up to her. Yeah, shout out Publix, yo. Deli
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. Yo, I had me chicken tender pups up yesterday, dog, right? Yo, I'm gonna keep it real. I brought it into the movies. So, you feel me? I was in there with chicken
popcorn.
Yeah, what? I was telling you.
All right, wait. So homegirl, she's sitting there. She's deaf. She stocks shelves. Yeah. So she's sitting there stocking the shelves, and the lady walks up to her and asks her a question. So, of course she can't hear. So she didn't even know the lady was behind her. Okay. Lady sitting there trying to talk to her. She feels that she's ignoring her. Now, homegirl took it upon herself to punch her in the face.
The lady that was trying to talk to her?
Yes.
Wait, she went that far?
She punched her in the face because she was like, yo, because she basically said that the girl was ignoring her.
So just ignore me, so I'm punching her in the face.
Wait, what?
See, the reason I want to draw attention to that is I've never been in the Publix and asked somebody a question and they didn't snap to it, dog. You don't care how bad of a day they had. They'll get fired like that.
They can be on the other side of the building. They can be on the other side of the building and like you want something in the deli and like they'll walk you over to it and be like, hey, here it is.
Yeah.
Great service.
Like Jeff pushing carts outside. Yo, you know where the cheese is at? Oh, I'll show you. He'll walk all the way inside to show you where the cheese is at. But like she straight up punched her in the face. Like, and the thing is, homegirl said like she's not gonna file no charges on her. She's not pressing no charges on her. She's gonna pray for her because she doesn't understand why she would just.
All right, the Jamaican's coming out of me. Hold on.
I see it. I see you moving.
Pray for what?
I'm just saying, like she was saying, she doesn't understand why.
Cut the check. We're gonna pray for you. Cut the check. That's all I pray for. I'm sorry.
She doesn't understand.
I'm praying for the fact that you on camera right now assaulting me.
Dog, if that was me,
Lord, please let the camera.
That's my last day working. I don't work at Publix anymore.
If that was me, I would have pulled LeBron and dropped everything off that shelf, dog. That OJ.
That's crazy. Man, not somebody puts me in my job.
Yo, let me clock out right quick. Like, let me clock out on the floor.
I'm suing Publix too. Yeah, I'm suing Publix in the fact that Publix.
So they keep me safe.
Yeah, keep me safe. You should keep me safe.
Give me all those stocks.
Yeah,
on that note, I can't blame them for that, dude. I see where you're coming from, but I can't blame them for that. Hey, homegirl should never put her hands on her.
Publix need to give her a shirt that says, yo, deaf girl working here. So you know what? Publix
there's a lot of special needs people that do work there. But here's the question: what Publix was that?
It was in Virginia.
Oh, thank God it was.
There's a Publix in Virginia. I thought Publix was more.
Hey, sure, you know Wawa's down here too, dog.
True. Oh yeah, we're expanding.
Oh, I love Wawa, man. Oh,
Wawa down here.
People were talking about it, and I finally started going there, man.
Yeah.
Yo,
you got a sandwich? Huh? You got a sandwich out there?
They got like the $5 hoagies now, man.
Mm-hmm.
You can show up at Walmart. I mean, Wawa. I like 2 o'clock in the morning. You're looking for the chef. Like, yo, you got job.
You got work.
Yeah.
Here's a funny story. So I went to the Wawa in Orlando, right?
Yeah.
It was like one of those things. It was like 2. No, it was 2. It was like 12:30 in the morning, and there was obviously changing shifts.
The one. Okay.
So I'm like, hey, wifey wanted like a milkshake, smoothie, whatever, and nobody was behind that counter. So I ordered it. And they finally came over, and the manager came. He didn't know how to make it, but he had to make it. So it was like, long story short, it was like a long process, like a 10-minute wait. Mm-hmm. But he made it. Hey, that thing was legit.
All right.
That's the Wawa, man.
Yo, Wawa is nice. I mean, that's a racetrack we're trying to do them thing.
Yeah.
As in food or?
I mean,
What about the ordering thing? Can you order like just on the screen at racetrack?
No, that's Wawa.
That's just Wawa.
That's only Wawa.
That's Wawa.
That's the thing I love about it, because I just walk in, I don't got to talk to nobody. I just order whatever I want.
Yo, what is that new gas station that's popping up all over
Cumberland.
Cumberland been doing their thing
cool
too.
Cumberland's not new though.
I mean, it's
For us,
Yeah, right.
It's
Yeah.
me.
they're really nice. Like as soon as you walk into Cumberland's, they're like, "Hey, how you doing? How's your day?"
Yeah,
Good morning.
I go to Hoodwin, so I don't get that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought they all did that.
I mean, I get what's good. I'm like,
What's-
Yo, I'm gonna keep it real. Yo, it's the neighborhood.
yeah.
It's the neighborhood. Because look, for example, I've never got a 99-cent Whopper in Melbourne.
Really?
Yeah.
I miss those down south.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all.
Down south there?
Yeah, down
Oh,
south.
yeah.
Yo, Richard, off 441 up there.
Oh,
yeah.
Yep. Yo, I'll pull right off. Yo, let me get like 4 of them 99.
Because they know we struggle down there.
Not the Whopper Junior, the
No,
Whopper.
the Whopper.
Whopper.
The Whopper.
Yeah,
$1.
That's a good deal.
And McDonald's used to be like a 69 cents large drink
Yeah.
up in
Yeah, they had good deals down there, bro.
It's kind of messy. Hold up. I'm about to get on my soapbox. Why they got this in the ghetto though? Like,
because they know we don't got it.
Right.
Yeah,
People
for real.
struggle with
that's kind of
that.
crazy.
Yeah.
No, the struggle is real.
Taking
Honestly,
care of your own, dog.
I gotta admit, I'm fully against McDonald's. Like I hate ordering that stuff for the kids, myself, anybody. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But they did have that sausage egg McMuffin for the 2 for $4.
Yeah.
Man, I got addicted for like a couple days. I was getting them things every single day, and I was like, man, what am I doing to my body? Like, let me get off of that. I'm cooking my stuff at home, and then
not gonna lie,
go to work,
that
man.
joint is fire. Though.
It is, man. But yo, the stuff they putting in that, it's no good.
I made the omelet earlier on today. Though. Shout out to mine
For real, cook it yourself, man.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
When I tell you that is a lost skill nowadays, dog.
Hey.
That is a lost
bro.
Shout out to the girls that cook.
Yo, for
I
real.
know how
Yo,
to
shout out to the
cook.
girls who single and gonna stay single because they can't cook.
Oh, they won't stay single, dog.
They gonna stay single.
No, they gonna
That's
stay
what
single.
Instagram's for.
It's either they gonna stay
she's gonna be
single,
Instagram for a little bit,
or they man's
but
gonna
after
pass
some-
away
yeah,
'cause,
she's gonna get passed. Ain't gonna last too long.
So big, like can't even make a sandwich, my dude.
Yo, I want to. Yo, I follow Aisha Curry on Instagram, right?
I'm about to buy her pots.
Yo, and I'm
She
and homegirl
She's
cooks
a-
every day.
Yeah.
Every day she be cooking. I'm like, yo, Steph,
no
dog, yo,
maid, no nothing. It's her.
yo,
in the
for
kitchen.
real.
That's what's up.
And you talking about she's married to a millionaire. She
holding the
cooking
crib
every
down,
day.
dog.
Every day.
Holding the crib down.
This is something special about when you cooking, man. It's like you cook with love. You know that
Yeah.
that love goes into the meal. You just
Mhm.
feel healthier. You feel stronger. Like you
Exactly.
just be feeling empowered when you have that home cooked meal, man.
Exactly.
There's a difference between getting cooked for the masses and being cooked just for you and your little
Yeah,
your
see,
little unit.
now on my
dog.
Sam's
Oh,
Club
yeah.
card. I mean, you want to get one of these salmons and throw them in my oven.
I felt like that a couple days ago. It's like buy a whole salmon and do something.
Yo, Trevor, I
I
ain't
don't
gonna
know
lie.
what I'm doing, but I'm doing something.
You know what I've been doing on the grill?
What?
You know how I normally wrap it in the aluminum foil. And
Yeah.
You know, we throw it in the oven, dog, with a timer.
Yeah.
Put it on the bottom part of the grill,
Yeah.
and we broil it, and we just do the time because broil is just a set temperature,
Right.
and we just put it in there for about an hour and 10 minutes.
Mhm.
You know, and when it comes out, put some okra on it, dog, and it's nice. And I'm like, yo,
We're doing that tonight, yo.
Healthy,
We're doing that tonight.
Y'all know I'm a crock pot feed, dog.
hey, Dennis, I got a wireless crock pot that I can be at the crib, be at work, and whatever I season inside of it, say it's supposed to cook for 6 hours, and I can hit start, and it turns it on automatically.
That
Yeah,
sounds
wow.
stupid.
Yeah, leave it to my wife. Leave it to my wife.
That sounds so.
Yeah.
I don't even understand why I would even do that.
You're
No.
not there to turn it
Like,
on.
no, Trevor, you season the meat.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You put it, whatever you're cooking, you put it inside of it, right?
Right.
So you know it's gonna take a cook for a certain amount of period.
All right.
You can adjust the temperature on high, medium, or low. So you can have a timer. This is what my wife did. She has a timer on her thing that says in 45 minutes
Mhm.
you'll drop it to low, and she just and her phone and she just goes into her app
Mhm.
and she drops it to low. So when we were doing it, we were over at Chanel's friend's house, right?
Mhm, mhm.
And she was calling her mom, and she was like, "Mom, I put it on medium. Check it." And she was like, "Yeah, it's on medium." So we did a small troubleshooting with it,
Yeah.
and the
And it
thing
goes
worked.
off Wi-Fi then.
Wi-Fi. No, because the crock pot is connected to your
To your
home
own internet, but
Yeah.
internet.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds cool, but like when I sit there and I set it for the specific time, after it's done, it sets it on low anyway. So like for me, I wouldn't need something like
Okay.
that. So it's cool though.
No, it
I
can't
wouldn't
work.
need nothing like
I can see
that.
what you're saying, Sam, because I used to like the crock pot a lot, but what I've noticed is like if I try to set it in the morning
Yeah,
and I cook and I come home,
it's cold.
it tastes a little different.
Yeah.
It tastes like it's overcooked.
So you want to do your time frame.
Some of them have the keep warm setting too. Like
So-
ours got that.
You know what I'm
That's why I keep
saying?
warm,
But that's what I'm talking about. Because Dennis has a wonderful point. But the point that we were using it is that when we come home, like if I do it with the time frame that I'm set in it,
Yeah.
like I should be walking home from work to the door, but I just do, and it's done right. And my food is nice, fresh, and hot. Like, you know what I mean? You know, it's not sitting there like being cooked down, because sometimes you leave, it's like cooking like beef. If you're cooking beef and you let it sit in there for too long, then the meat's gonna start getting all.
Right.
Yeah, it tastes funny. You gotta
Agreed.
hit it at a certain point. But the idea was fresh. I ain't gonna like it. And I bought this new shower head too, dog, and I love it.
Oh, you told me about that.
Yeah.
Which one?
Shower head? That's pretty
Yeah,
dope.
I-
Oh, the shower. Yeah.
The dual. I've been loving that thing, yo.
Speaking of showers, man, we've been like trying to remodel our bathroom,
Yeah.
and we've been just sitting on this whole thing where we got to take out the bath and just install like an actual shower. So that's like my project for the summer. I'm not looking forward to it, but it's coming
I
together
ain't gonna lie,
slowly.
dog. I want that project because
Yeah.
have you ever watched Belly?
Nah.
All right, let's not get too graphic.
Nah.
There's
You never watched Belly?
let's
I watched
get
my
too graphic.
phone, like it's like BT.
I mean, that was BT Belly. Okay.
All right, well, there's a shower scene basically in that movie, but we're not gonna go with the shower scene. But the water was coming from like the shower system. You turn it on, it rains from the top.
Oh,
the front
yeah.
and the side. If you know what I'm saying, I think I'm not sure about the third one.
The flood showers,
It's like a flood shower,
like
but
it sprays
I'll call
from
it
the
car
side.
wash.
And
yeah, but you don't see it. It's in the wall. So when you go to your bathroom, all you see is like holes at the top.
Right.
So you don't even see the shower head. So when you turn it on, the water just hits through those holes. So you can't see it. So based on the fact he's talking about remodeling, then this is a good time to get in between the drywalls or the walls and you can do your own thing because it's all piping. I did some stuff because we are gardening in the back end. Not saying anything. I know I'm not gonna always be there, and my wife is not gonna always want to walk to the back end and water the plants.
Mhm.
So I have a little thing where I just connect this. I got this thing called a sprinkling hose. That when you connect it, you turn the water on and it just sprinkles. And you can put a timer on it. I haven't done a timer yet, but she gets to do that. And she doesn't have to go all the way in the backyard in the darkness or without me by herself. She's going toot.
I do the exact same thing because I have like 6 garden beds now.
Yeah.
And like I hate to sit there in the morning, especially in the morning time.
Yeah.
Sitting there to water.
Now
I just like set it up. And I just turn the faucet on.
Yeah.
Let it run for like 30 minutes, whatever.
And that's it.
Turn it off, and I'm good.
Yo, and I love it. I thought I invented that idea. You should saw me. He was like, yo, I went to Walmart. I'm like, hey guys, I'm trying to buy a hose, and he's like, so what type of gardening hose? I'm like, well, I'm gonna buy the drill hose, and he's like, for what? And I'm like, I'm trying to make my own sprinkler. He's like, let me show you this wonderful, hose we got over here. It's called a sprinkling hose.
Yeah.
It basically has the holes right inside of it, and I'm like, dog, I feel like he was reading my mind, like, dog,
$1 million idea, right? Because that would have made you money.
Trevor, believe me, because at first I was gonna buy PVC pipes.
Yeah.
And drill the hole.
Because we were trying to do that for the curve too.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the way we were doing it, I guess my father-in-law wanted to put a timer on it.
Yeah.
But what we were talking about, we were just doing without a timer.
Mhm.
So that's why he kind of neglected the idea.
Mm-hmm.
But based on the fact that I got a sprinkling hose thing going on now,
Mhm.
and he kind of sees it working, I think he's going to consider it more.
Oh, yeah, and the timers they're not too expensive too. They have like timers that are like $30, and
I like that price.
they'll even detect the water. Like let's say it's raining that particular day,
Yeah.
and it won't water because you're already good with the rain.
Okay.
So they're pretty high tech.
It's catching up on us. I want to talk about this.
So, so guys, I've seen Avengers finally,
Yes, finally.
and
And I
now
want-
mind you, let me just backtrack before we get deep into the movie. Let me tell y'all what happened. So we found, man, I have, you guys know I have a daughter and a son, 2
Mhm.
kids. One's 1.5 years old, the other one's 6, and it was a mess going to the movies. I know CN can relate.
Yeah.
I'm hope he gives me some tips because I almost lost my mind. So first of all, we get into the movie theater. Thank God it was a new theater over by Malabar Road.
AMC.
It's like they have
Oh no,
leather
that's not
seats.
AMC. I haven't been over
It's
there.
like
the
that's
remodeled
something. Yeah,
one that
It's
they
pretty
opened
nice.
like 8 times.
Yeah,
Suppose it's nicer now.
it's pretty nice, and you know
He
it's
said
kind
I
that
of
have
every single
literally
time.
no reason to be
Yo, no reason to be out that way.
no shade to Palm Bay. I just don't have no reason to be that
We
way.
don't.
But anyway, so it's a pretty cool, like, it's low key, not a lot of people. It's a Thursday night, so
Okay.
it was practically empty. So we sat in the back. The kids got popcorn. They're good, right? My daughter's like, no, I don't want popcorn. I want a pretzel. I'm like, I'm not getting up.
Yeah.
So my wife goes and gets a pretzel, comes back, and then like my son, he's just going crazy in the seats. Like first he was watching for a good like half an hour,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, nah, I'm not feeling this, and started moving around. He wants to walk around and stuff. So it was just a headache, and I'm trying to focus on the movie scene.
Yeah.
And man,
I
but
would have lost it.
Yo,
yeah, I almost did.
Yo,
But I was
you know what it is?
definitely loving that movie though.
Y'all not ruining this.
no, I got I give them something to that would last, like because you're the little young one.
Yeah.
I mean, for Christina, it's more like giving her something that she can mess with. So, you know, basically she will drink up all the soda, right, and she'll play it with a straw. So I just hope she plays the straw long enough, and then
2 hours.
and then me and Trevor, I think when Chanel's there, we be trying to alternate her, like she tried to jump in between our laps. But I definitely know. But after this weekend, I learned a wonderful thing, guys. Yo, guys, when you got kids and you go to the movie theaters, you know, I'm not to offend anybody, just sit at the end row.
That's what I did. Yeah.
Yeah, it just so more convenient. Like, you know, we there and the kids had to go to the restroom. It was like instead of keep stepping over people and whatnot, I was like, I'm right at the edge. I can just run back and forth by bomb
Uh-huh.
and do it. But Donville, for your sense, when you want to watch a movie, put your wife at the end row. If she's not really that interested in the movie, then somebody got to make the
I feel
sacrifice.
bad for her. She was holding it down with the kids though, man.
Yeah.
I was focused.
Yeah, you know, I hear you because that was me too when we went. You know, my wife was like, she sat with the kids because you know it just works better that way.
So I'm not a huge Avengers like guy
Mm-hmm.
because I'm more into I'm into the independent stuff like Captain America. I'm a little bit into that.
Mhm.
Thor I'm big on, and Doctor Strange I'm big on. Those
Mm-hmm.
are my favorites. But as far as like Avengers, I feel like they're always just like it's always fighting, and not a lot of storyline.
Mhm.
That's why I'm really into it.
That's
but
the whole
this
point
one,
of them being there.
that's true. But like for this one, I definitely like the dynamic between Spider-Man and Iron Man. I love that, seeing that on screen.
You saw Homecoming before, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I loved it too. And also seeing a lot of the movie that was in Wakanda, that was pretty cool too.
Yes.
Mhm. To show off how black
Shoot,
excellence
I
is
was in
again.
there
See,
shouting out.
That was just one of those. There's like 6 of us, and there's like 19,000,
Yeah.
possibly 1 million of y'all. Y'all want to pull up right quick?
Let's go.
Yo, because if it would have just been those like 5, 6, 7 of them, it would have been a massacre.
Yeah.
They needed that help, and luckily they knew T'Challa.
Mhm.
But I just want to say first and foremost, I don't care what anybody says. Vision was trash.
Yeah,
I don't care.
knew Vision
I don't
was
care
bad.
if he
Come
was
on.
hurt.
No,
I don't
he was
care.
hurt. He was hurt.
Yo, you're made out of vibranium, advanced technology, and Asgardian magic with an Infinity Stone in your head. I don't
In
care
your
if you
forehead.
got stabbed, bro. You could have done as much damage as anybody else sitting out there.
I mean, but when you're wounded, it's something different. I mean, probably I hear what you're saying. Before he got wounded, he could have done more because actually, he was wounded the whole
He was
movie.
wounded
Yeah, I was
the
about to
whole.
say,
See, but
Yeah,
he injured the entire movie.
here's the thing why like it kind of bothers me when it comes to that though is he got stabbed. Homeboy stabbed him with the spirit. It happens.
Yeah.
But Black Widow pulled up with no powers and put hands on the dude that ran him through severely, took his spear from his hand and beat him with it.
Yeah.
Come on, dog. Like Cap pulled up.
Yep.
Cap beat him down too. Like Vision's above all of these people. Like, dog, you were doing something wrong. And when he saw like Tony was getting blasted into space, he was like,
Yeah.
Like,
oh no.
like, yeah, I know you there for your chick and all that, but dog, like, you're a weapon, bro. Like, you're one of the strongest there. Thor was not on the planet anymore. There, it is a situation. So when he got snatched up, I was like, yo, I knew it was coming. Like, I knew it was coming too lax, dog. But shout out to Thor, movie MVP.
Yeah, Thor did his thing.
Yeah, Thor.
Yeah.
And like I said, Thor's one of my favorites, man. But when he came into Endio, I was like, oh,
he showed up.
Dog banner. You guys
that's the thing about Thor. Like when he's really on fire, like they do the ill effects where like the screen goes black at certain points. It's like
his lightning thing
it's
was
ill when he puts it down.
See, and the thing is that I liked about the Avengers universe though is that they identified certain things with certain people, so when you see it, you know what's up. Because when you saw that rainbow light from the Bifrost, it was turn up season, dog. Like you knew it was coming
and
down.
even the part when he was starting up the forge. Was the forge or furnace?
Yeah, but I want you guys to realize Thor didn't show up in a spaceship.
Oh,
he used the Bifrost.
Yeah,
his
weapon.
Yeah,
is what he used to teleport there. Right?
Yeah, he used. Yeah, that's what Heimdall's sword has. Like that was the main thing that what's I forgot the elf name. Dinklage is like not elf dwarf.
Well, by you guys saying that, it's just gonna prove a point how they're gonna be able to pinpoint where Thanos is and show up. Because all they need is the right information. The fact Thanos is on Titan.
Oh.
So we almost lost a pizza.
We almost lost a pizza. Yeah, I'm seeing with the whole ball reaction.
As far as the teleporting thing goes, I believe it has to be at least somewhere he's been before, per se. But then again, Heimdall could use the Bifrost to actually see across the universe. But that was his power.
Is he using Bifrost?
I think that was his power.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But the thing that caught me was Thor never been to Wakanda, but he pulled up.
Yeah.
So like,
he's been to Earth.
Yeah, but
I think he just teleports to say, "I know where my friends are. Go there."
Well, he probably did it based on the spaceship, because when he got to, probably if you do it, I can't say where on Earth he did, but you should have something that there's a war going on by a sense of power, because you could sense some of those people's power.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
who else was MVP number 2? Nobody was mentioning this chick, Mantis. Mantis was MVP number 2.
Now, who's Mantis again?
Mantis is the little girl that went jump on top of Thanos' head and put him, basically subdues him.
Yeah, put him to sleep.
That was dope.
She legit put that dude down.
Yeah, she had him.
Yeah,
man.
Until
Peter
Star-Lord.
Like,
Quill.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to Spider-Man for pulling the glove off. And Spider-Man didn't have to help stop Quill from doing what he did.
Yeah.
When he did it anyway, because he tried to stop him. Because Spider-Man pulled the glove off. Like at first,
it was coming off and everything, man.
No, he had it off. He was about right here, and then he basically hit him away and was like, boom, and got it back.
Like, boom, locked that fist, and it was over.
And Doctor Strange figured it out when he was like, yo, whatever you do, don't let him lock his fist.
But Doctor Strange is like I said, Doctor Strange is one of my favorite, man. The way he was like figuring stuff out, and the cool thing about him is like he's able to, with the what do you call it, the time stone.
Mm-hmm.
He's able to figure it out like all types of different scenarios.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you.
He did say like, hey, we're in the end game, so whatever it was that was supposed to happen.
Yo, but to keep it real,
it did happen.
Yo, to keep it real, I'm gonna say this. What Thanos showed him. I'm gonna tell you, Thanos showed up in that movie like Trump did. Yo, I'm gonna tell you why he said that. Hold on. Let me address this part. We're gonna go back to the Obama administration. How many times did Obama use his executive order?
I think it was a lot.
No, I can say the only one I can basically recall is when he basically gave homosexual their rights, right?
But I think they say like 40 something
that he passed without going through Congress.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't say I didn't know that.
It was a lot. It's just not,
controversial.
It's all media. Yeah, it's all media.
It's not controversial, but what Thanos said to Doctor Strange is that you didn't use your most important weapon. So granted, Doctor Strange was looking forward in time, but he never looked in the possibility of going backwards. Because if he would have used that backwards time thing when Spider-Man basically pulled off the glove or got close to pulling the glove within the fact that he was still in the same frame, he could have pulled back time on that one. Like, all right, guys, I'm gonna let you know, Quill, based on what I just watched 5 minutes ago, when you hear that Gamora's dead,
see, you don't got time for that.
You can't say Dennis, because when Thanos went and pull up on Vision, and he thought he blew the stone up, he was like, he walked over and was like,
see, but here's
time back.
the thing though, he's standing right there, and at the same time, he still has 5 other Infinity Stones.
That has nothing to do with time.
It does, because he can't touch the stone directly. He always uses symbols to use it. So let's say he goes and he starts doing the thing with his hands, and he opens that up. Thanos would have him by his neck in 2 seconds, because it literally takes him like, what is it, like 15 seconds to open up that stone and use it. That's not enough time.
Yeah, but and then it's even so. You talking about the second for the fact the time frame when they had when Iron Man was fighting Thanos, right? Giving him that combo when Thanos was like, "You did all that just for a drop of blood." He could have pulled time back. He had many instances.
I thought he was knocked out.
You know what? That's my MVP. Was Iron Man.
Iron Man's the MVP. Yeah, he was, because based on the power Iron Man had, Trev.
Yeah.
Yo, he did it to him with how many stones Thanos had at that time? Like a 4?
He had all of them.
No, he had 4.
The last
two, he didn't have the time stone yet.
No, yeah, shit, yeah. He didn't have time stone or
one. So
sure.
And to me, Iron Man was the MVP. Thor was the MVP. Thor was my MVP. I'm like, granted, he showed up a little bit late, but for the fact that I watched him through Stormbringer and Thanos tried to block it with 5 stones and couldn't block it. Yeah, you feel me? And then when he got, matter of fact, no, he had all the stones. Let me get politically correct. He had all 6, and Stormbringer ran right through it. And then that's when he looked at Thor and was like, "Oh, you should have went for the neck." But like, you can't blame Thor, but Thor did his thing.
See, here's the thing though. Like, I can't even say he showed up late, because my dude, he told him at the beginning of the movie, "Bruh, I'ma come see you, dog." Like, he told you, "I'ma come see you." Like, you best believe it's not going. What did he say to Rocket? He was like, "Oh, well, he's never fought me." He's like, yes, he did. Well, he's never fought me twice. yo, like, my dude, he did what he had to do, because he knew he was shorthanded in that fight. If he would have had me in there, maybe the fight would have went a little bit differently.
Yeah.
But,
like the first hammer.
The hammer.
It sucked.
No,
the last movie.
What?
No, the hammer was
it
good.
was hers.
The hammer
was hers. So as far as anything that he was doing with that, she was like, "Yo, you're gonna use my weapon on me?"
Yeah,
she broke it.
But if you remember that his dad did tell him that there's a weapon waiting for him, but he just got to learn how to harness his power.
Mm-hmm.
And when Thor went full thunder, I forgot what movie it was. I think
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok is when he went full thunder, and you can see how powerful he was away from his hammer.
Mm-hmm.
That's when when he had his hammer, you kind of saw what was coming. So when the fact that he did all that, him getting the Stormbringer was a perfect timing. Timing was everything on that move, because now he has a drive, the pull to pull his will to summon that storm to power up Stormbringer, which is shoot.
My thing is if he would have got that axe before he got to what was that place where the Soul Stone was at? If he would
Valmir,
yeah, or something like that. Like, well, if he would have got that before he pulled up there, Thor wouldn't have went to Earth. Thor would have pulled up on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, regardless of the fact, he was like, "Yo, I'm getting my axe and I'm coming to see you, dog." Like, exactly.
But Thor basically did that, because Thor wasn't aware of Thanos until the end of Ragnarok. I'm not saying he wasn't aware of him, but for the fact that Thanos showed up and slaughtered the rest of his people, half of his people.
Yeah.
What was the other half?
The Valkyrie girl has the other half.
Valkyrie Korg? What's his name? The rock guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're on the half that lived. Surprisingly.
I forgot about that. I did forget about it.
Watch.
No, shout out to my showbox.
Shout out. Yeah.
You about to get watched later.
But shout out to you give that look. Shout out to Shuri too, because even though she only had a small part, but she did what she was going to do. She was going to find how to save Vision. I bet you she did.
Yeah, she saved his consciousness, because when Iron Man, when Bruce Banner. Are we talking? Is it Bruce or Dave? Whichever whole
Bruce. David Banner is with
is a rapper.
Yeah. I thought he was.
Yeah. Shout out to Bruce Banner.
I miss listening to his music.
See, my thing is with her, like you said, she had her small parts, but when she sat there and she made Bruce look stupid, dog.
Not just Bruce.
Like, we talking about like when she was sitting there, she was like, so why did you guys do it like this again?
Oh yeah.
It's like, well, we figured that. So why didn't you just do this? Oh, because we didn't think of that. Oh, okay.
So she didn't
she was like, okay.
She didn't just make Bruce stupid. Tony's stupid too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And for some reason,
teenager.
I think she's gonna pull up in Black Panther.
In the comics, she makes
him fight the way Black Panther fights, right? But the having that suit on, it should give her some power.
I don't think she'll pull up in that. She'll probably give the Sparrow to Okoye because she's not much of a fighter. She's more of a technical.
She's still a kid.
She can throw hands, but
I did like seeing her when dudes ran up on her. She did bust out the cannons and start hitting. I was like, okay.
She stayed with the cannons.
Out.
Man, she fought a little bit. I was like, that's cool.
She knows how to.
See, sorry, I was going to say, I just love how I could. Well, now I have an idol for my goddaughters.
Yeah, because sure, you know when you watched the movie yesterday, that's the first thing that came out of her mouth.
Yeah.
When she pops up on the screen, she goes, "Mommy, that's me."
Yeah.
She knows her character.
Yeah, because I've got her that gauntlet.
Yeah.
Even though she's 3, but still.
No, Trev should know what.
Even though she's 3, growing to 22 right now.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's a million, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out to Parker, because Parker, even though he pulled the stowaway game, my man got a new suit, became an Avenger, and he pulled his weight the entire time.
He pulled his weight more than enough, because I forgot the dude from the Black Order that he's the one that basically came up with the whole idea how to kill him. To start shoot a hole in the ship. When he gets close to it, is it Squidward got sucked out of it? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And the funny thing is to watch him frozen in space.
I don't think he's gone forever.
No, he dead, Trevor.
I
think he would have to be a god.
Out, and then you saw his face crack.
I understand that,
but he has to be a god.
We know how comics run.
Yeah, right.
I don't think he's gone forever because he didn't die like the other 3.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the other one? How the other one died?
Yeah.
Was a swole one.
He died. The girl died.
The swole one got the
one with the spear died because Vision killed him. Vision poked him with the spear. That's how he finally died.
Oh, okay.
So all the Thanos the minions died.
Didn't one of them get torn in half?
Well, all of them died. Like
the big dude got scraped up on the wall.
The barrier killed him.
Got chopped off.
The homegirl got minced up inside of the machine.
Yeah, by what's her name? Yeah.
My Black Widow came with hands. Dog.
I ain't gonna lie. That's my favorite character so far.
She was sitting side by side with Okoye. That was one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. Because I'm sitting there the whole time. I'm like, which one of them is better? But they were both on par with each other, which raises Black Widow to a different bar too. Because we knew she had hands, but you're sitting there with a Dora Milaje and you're keeping up.
It makes you think, what would she be with some of their weapons?
Huh?
What would Black Widow be with some of their weapons?
Worse.
No, but I'm just saying. That's the thought. No, because Black Widow does have a weapon. Because her little magnetic
guns and the sticks too.
And
she makes
pistols.
it to a spear. Yeah.
That's it.
Now, I need y'all to explain something to me. So the whole thing with the girl that was green, the one that he
Gamora.
the one that he gave up for the soul stone.
Yeah.
Like, what do y'all think about that? Y'all think she's really gone, or
her soul is
she's in the soul stone.
The stone accepted her soul as a sacrifice. That was the whole point of it.
So you think there's any way that she can come back?
I don't think she's coming back.
Not without the time stone.
Yeah. I like that too, man.
No, because if you go into the comics, there's different instances where Nebula, the sister, plays a major role because that's why everybody's like, it depends on where they go with it because Adam Warlock should be showing up as well, and he's probably going to show up in the Guardians of the Galaxy because they're not talking about him being a part of.
They're saying he's not going to be
in the Avengers. You know what I'm saying? So they're talking about that. Who he plays a major part against Thanos in the comics. She plays a major fact, and Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, plays a fact in against Thanos as well. So Thanos does have a couple people who shows up on him. And when you watch the one with Nebula basically uses Thanos' own reality, not to really trick him, to really catch him off guard and get the gauntlet, and then she actually brings Gamora's back to life because she turned time all the way back. She basically everyone that Thanos killed, she brought back. But so and then that's how a lot of people are saying because Vision is robot, it doesn't really count as a kill. He's more like a destruction.
I did notice that when everybody disappeared, Vision was still there.
Yeah, his body.
Because he doesn't really have a soul. Yeah,
So
he's
soul
mechanical. Yeah, the stone was his soul. So I mean, as far as that, he got backup processing. Sure, he's gonna pop off one of those beads on his bracelet, put it in his forehead, and he's gonna be all right.
Vision 2.0.
Yeah.
For real.
All right, make it black now.
And then she's gonna look at him, my friend. You need to learn how to fight.
That's
Dog.
yo.
Yeah, we're gonna get you. Link it with a courier dog.
Now let's go into waste of potential, dog. Scarlet Witch, waste of potential.
No, because she was emotionally tied in.
Yeah. See, here's the thing though. Like, if you know what you're capable of, and you know they're coming for him, bro, go outside, dog.
No, you can't say that. For her, I mean, yes, you would want her to be outside. But mental wise, she's not going to be in it. She's going to be out there and keep thinking back. For her position, so she can see Vision was better in a situation. It's like you would have sick. It's like my child being sick.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, granted, I would like to be out there fighting, but at this point, I need to be the last line of defense.
See, but you gotta think of the greater good too. Like, if you're sitting there and you're that strong as the last line of defense, you shouldn't even be worried about them getting to you. You should be on the front lines, dog. Because when she actually went outside, she did as much damage as Thor in record time, dog.
Yeah.
Like,
Corey was like,
instantaneously. It's like, dog, like, what are you doing up there? Like, and I'm feeling the same way. I'm like, yeah, I understand that's your dude and you're trying to protect him, but there's other people outside too. It's not just him. Like, you put all these people are sacrificing their lives to save him too. It's not just about you. You feel me? Like,
and Ubanka is about to be the king of Wakanda until
Baku?
Yeah.
No, he falls to Sherry.
He gonna fall to Sherry.
It's the bloodline thing.
Mm-hmm. She had a challenge.
The challenge?
They still had the challenge.
Oh yeah.
So, that's a whole nother thing.
I don't think anyone's gonna say, you know what, I want to beat up on Sherry. She makes all her stuff nice.
Yeah, she's the one who got all this technology.
She makes my fridge levitate. I'm gonna bother her.
She's the reason why we got hoverboards around.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, here's the thing though. When Black Panther showed up in Civil War, he technically was the reigning king of Wakanda before he did the challenge. When his father died, he was the king temporarily, and then he had to go home and do the ceremony.
I think because the people outside said, "Oh, you're his son, so you must be king." People outside said that, but Wakandians said that right. They did not. They
he was still a prince.
Yeah.
He wasn't king. He was still considered a prince. That's why when he took the mantle of king, he had to go. When he wanted to become king, he had to accept all challenges.
And they don't do that whole challenge thing, dog. That little girl, I don't want to see her.
Well, they don't have that herb anymore.
I don't even think he'd fight her, dog. Like, to be completely honest.
Well, they don't got that herb no more, dog.
That too.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if anybody's getting that suit, it's gonna be Okoye, dog. She's the most like physically fit to have it, and that would be dope.
Yeah. So this nerd moment has been brought to you by Pizarro's.
Yeah. We want to chop on some pieces.
Is there any other topic we need to?
Well,
I know we're all hungry, man, but real quick, I do want to touch on Issa Rae.
Okay.
I heard about that.
I heard about it, and I heard the whole thing.
Now, what was the whole thing, Trev?
About it, she has a new book out, and in the book, it was saying that.
But Trev, I'm gonna stop you. The book is not new. The book has been out a couple of years now.
Oh, it's years.
Yeah.
So media.
Because she's relevant.
Yeah.
Then they're using it. That's the reason why I stopped you. Continue.
Right. Well, actually, continue. Someone else continue because I don't even know.
I know a little bit about it. I don't know too much.
Well, she's just saying the minority groups.
Yeah.
Like in how we're being viewed, basically like Black and Asians and stuff like that. That they're just saying they should just get together.
Yeah.
You feel me? Stop. If you guys think you're at the bottom, probably if you get together, you can rise together.
So she's basically saying every smart Black woman should just date an Asian.
Yeah. Mind you, Asians are not at the bottom.
No.
Asians got bread. Like, for real, you look at statistics, like Asians they're very wealthy as far as what the money they have.
Right.
So they're definitely not at the bottom. But she said like, oh, well, black women should be with Asian men. It wasn't like, oh, Asians and black should be together, but it was like specifically black women that got their stuff together.
It's such a nice mixture.
Go for Asian men.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, because
crazy.
mean, but it's each their own. Because interracial marriage has been going on for generations now. It's just because someone who's popular puts some things, has an opinion, is why it's being scrutinized the way it is. You know, so yeah, I mean, not saying it's agree to disagree. She has her reasons why she made a comment. Maybe to us we don't understand why, but to some people it do.
So it's okay to just be like, you know,
what am I looking at?
These black men.
No, I mean we're not saying that, but all right. In a sense, when she was saying that, she was talking about educated black women, and you know, in the sense that if you marry somebody in your same category, I mean, I can say I'm married and my wife is a better half of me. I mean, probably 90% of the things I like to do, she like to do. You feel me? So with the way she may have been taken out of context and how she said it may have been come across right, but it's just date what's up to you, because how many not say we don't have smart black dudes. We have a lot of smart black dudes out there, but what society has basically shown us, the majority of the smart black dudes out there is married to a white woman. You see what I'm saying? And that was her point. It's like
that's the stereotype. Like,
at the end of the day, like, it shouldn't even be thought of in that light anyway. You should just be with whoever
makes you happy.
You want to be with. Yeah. Don't let anybody. Oh, you're supposed to be dating a black person, or you'll be doing better if you're dating.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. That's
like, if we fall in love, we fall in love.
Yeah.
Like, we're all human, and like it's one of those things where. It's sad to see it that it's done with relationships, friendships, living establishments, anything like that. It's you'll never be unified if for whatever reason in one of these brackets you're separating each other. You know, like it's not supposed to work like that.
Yeah, you can't just like force people like, hey, this is what you should be doing. Just
exactly.
Throw in that category.
This is what you should be dating. This is what you should be doing. Or, you know, date this person. You'll be more profitable. Like, at the end of the day, what is it about you? You only have one life. Exactly. So if you're gonna choose to, you know, do it because you got told it was better instead of your own, you know, decision, you're living for someone else instead of yourself.
Right.
So yeah, just do what you want, dog. Like,
so you just said a very politically right answer, which I agree with completely, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, we all have Caribbean parents.
Yes, we do.
Can you imagine if we brought home another race? See how you laugh?
I think for my family, I think it'll be all right.
You technically are.
We've been through, well.
There's a percentage.
Yeah, but the key word is not you say you've been through it already. So no, imagine the first person.
We've been through it as far as a family, where we have a Caucasian family member, a cousin, and like we didn't push anybody away. Like we were very close to them, and their family had some issues that my cousin was able to, you know, work out. But as far as on our family side, like we were very accepting of her, and we're cool, you know. That's my cousin, you know.
Well, I can say in my family there would have been a lot of racial conversation. I mean, for one, it's just the first thing would have been culture, you know, and then island people like to talk about stuff island people like to do that you don't get from another culture. But for me as a person, I'm very open.
Yeah.
In that sense, the fact that, you know, date who makes you happy.
Yes. Yeah. You're raising two daughters, and a son, and they're in a way better society than we came from.
And it's not even that my son took a very heavy liking to Latino girl.
I remember that on South Beach.
Yeah. You pulled homegirl top off like it was.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Hey, I ratchet fact. I watched a video online with a girl that got her private parts tattooed in a skull. I want to know what you think about that. I just want to bring that up.
No.
Yeah. You notice I use the word ratchet fact because I saw.
Yeah, we went from nerd, we went to the kind of racial thing. Now we're ratchet. That's fine.
Sure, that's as ratchet as it gets. Because I'm thinking if I would have been a guy that pulled that down and stuff, I'm like,
and saw that,
like, you know what, something's wrong
You know, I gotta go home.
What about you, Dan? What would happen if you?
So, like, as far as the parents thing, to touch on that, like when I was growing up, like being that my parents are Haitian and whatnot, like you have people that have the American dream, they come over for a better life and everything like that, but they're still accustomed to what they've seen. So as far as my mom and stuff like that, like she was against that when I was younger. And it was for the main reason of the fact of how everything was back then. Like in the age that I'm at right now, if you look back to everything that's been happening during that time period, as a kid, you're oblivious to it because they keep it from you. So, like for me, like my first like girlfriend was a white girl in first grade.
Yeah.
So like when I was living in Fort Lauderdale at the time, so like she walked up, yeah, bro. Like so like she comes up to me and like like homegirl, like the only reason I like remember all of this is because of how everybody reacted to it at first.
Sunrise?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sitting there and like me and homegirl, like we're dating, we're holding hands in the hallway and stuff like that, and a lot of the older people would like look at us and stuff like that. And then my cousins, they went to the same school as I did, and they were about like 5 grades higher than me. So like as soon as they caught wind of that, they're like, "Yo, what are you doing?" Yeah. It was like, "Oh, we're just going out." We? Like what we? It's like, "Yo, you're not supposed to be doing that." And of course, my question to that was why, And I had that question for a while, but because like to me, I was oblivious to that. I wasn't informed of any of that stuff that was happening. I didn't see like anything from the civil rights movement or anything like that until I was in 4th grade. And when I saw that for the first time, like it terrified me. Like I literally looked at the kid next to me in class who was Caucasian, and I stared at him. Because like at that point in time, your whole perspective was changed because you don't know what to think about the person that's sitting next to you. But my ideal that I've always had is everybody's responsible for whatever it is that they bring to the table. So as I got older, like my parents kind of had the same, mentality that they had before, but over time it changed. Especially when I moved up here and I ran into Darren or whatever. That he ended up being my best friend in middle school, and like we're still very, very good friends. And he's white. And my mom got used to seeing him, got used to like being around him and stuff because he would always come over, like they met their family, stuff like that. And he was just a good, wholesome person. So she pretty much like accepted him as like a son. So as far as that, like sometimes you have people that just need something to change her perspective, as well as like all the people that she worked with, because she worked at like for like hospice and stuff like that. So she met a lot of the older like white people and stuff like that. And there was one lady like she got attached to, like the lady was so sweet, like older white lady. Like she used to always take care of her, told her stories. Like my mom would just go spend time with her, and it crushed her when she died. It really did. So like when it comes to all of that, like it just changed. So like I've brought Venezuelan, Puerto Rican, Jamaican, stuff like that to the house. It's cool. It's cool. Like they don't care about it anymore because as far as where society is now, they understand, but they got the chance to understand that. And they were willing to change their perspective on it as well. So if you interact with someone that's not willing to do that, it's a little different.
Well, I can't say. I think for me, I've tinkered around with the racial barriers or ethnic barriers in certain sense. But I know that at the end of the day, I would end up with a Jamaican wife, and that's just based on what I was looking for. Wife. And shout out to my wife.
My thing also was like, regardless of who it is, as far as me and what I want for my kids and my family, is that they respect our culture. Exactly. Like as far as Jamaican, this is not no play thing. Like, yo, I'm Jamaican to the core. I love my culture. I love my island and everything that we do. So as long as they, not to say they have to be Jamaican, but as long as they have a respect for our culture and not, trying to pull my son or daughter out of it, I'm cool with it, you know.
Yeah.
Just gotta respect that what we bring to the table is, you know, 100% real.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Like just teach your kids to be, you know, proud of themselves, proud of where they come from and stuff like that, but also like teach them to be greater. You know, like their whole point of being in this world is to make it better than it was than when you got it. Yeah. So you gotta help them do that as well. You know,
and
like
I strongly agree with you as a parent.
Yeah.
Because my whole thing is to look to see where I am, where I'm at now, and what I went through to get where I'm at, to see what my kids get to live. You know, my kids will never experience not even, you know, Lord is hopefully they would never have to experience nothing that I experienced growing up as a child.
Yeah.
And my mom did the best I can with what we had.
Yeah.
You feel me? So it is what it is.
And on that note, CN, I want to just close out with something that I know we always have like our good thing to say for the day.
Yeah.
I want to just jump in and just give mine because I think it's very related to what we're talking about now.
Yeah.
And it's something that my parents always said, even before they had me and everything. They always told me a story like, no matter what we do, we make sure it's either we're in a good, better, or best position.
Yeah.
Like we never go backwards to worse or anything less than good. So whatever we're doing, we make sure that you're good, or you're doing better, or you're doing your best, and you're gonna be fine in life, man.
Sadly,
that's what it is.
Treat it all like an experience too. Not to say that the bad won't happen, but like you get to the point where when bad stuff starts to happen, you just treat it as an experience because you learn from it. Because like, let's say if something were to happen similar the next time, I got this. You know, like first time it's gonna hit you, but then after that you're like, oh, it's all right.
That's right.
Yeah, it's nothing new.
All right, y'all. So we love y'all.
Yes, guys.
Episode 2.
Yo,
don't forget, y'all. Don't forget. Hit us up on Instagram, OnePot Podcast.
Yeah.
The Facebook page, I just put that up. So OnePot Podcast on Facebook.
All right.
And the website, onepotpodcast.com. Hit us up. Let us know what y'all think about the episodes. Give us feedback. You know, if y'all got topics that y'all want to talk about, let us know.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk about them. If y'all got any questions, email us. Comment.
Yeah, drop it in the comment.
Oh yeah.
And we appreciate the previous people that listened to episode 1. What is it at like 60 plays so far?
Yeah.
Which we're like, we never thought.
Get big.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's love, guys. That's love. I want to say thank you. Thank you to everyone. You know, we're gonna make this is us every week. You feel me? So you know when you see us out, you know, you see us live on Instagram, Facebook, or whatnot, say something. Because you may have an opinion or something that, you have a different opinion that we can come and discuss. And if that's the case, we want to get you on here. You know? Let's get your opinion out there, get your voice out there, guys. Guys, again, thank you for showing up and, listen to us OnePot Podcast. See you next week and have a good day.
And I want to eat right now, so it's time to go. Bye.
Peace.
Bye.
That's how you're going to end it?
Yeah.
I'm going to leave that all in.
Sure. You can look at time.